Welcome to Nearpod, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here with me. We are so excited. We are kicking off our public webinars again after a little bit of change, a little bit of transition, and we are now offering 30-minute sessions. And that's what today is. Truly a quick 30-minute session where you can just kind of get a general understanding of what Nearpod is so that you are able to explore more on your own. As you are able to kind of get settled in, please feel free to ask questions as you would like. You can pop those in the Q&A, and I do see that we already have somebody in the Q&A asking a question. I promise I will get to you, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. Excited to have you. Thank you for being here. My name is Gina. I am a field consultant too with Renaissance/Nearpod. I am one of the Nearpod OGs. I live outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Those are some fun facts about me. But more than anything, I'm very proud of the fact that I am a foster and rescue dog mom and cat mom. So very excited to have you here to talk a little bit more about Nearpod today. I'm going to quickly run through the mission, which has remained the same with Renaissance since 1986, which is to accelerate learning for all children and adults of all ability levels and ethnic and social backgrounds worldwide. We're really going to honor that mission. We're going to focus in by experiencing the interactive learning and formative assessment features of Nearpod. I'm going to show you how to find some pre-made Nearpod materials. I'm going to talk to you about how to launch those lessons and then monitor student understanding. So quite a lot to get through today. So if you are in the lesson, which I am seeing that we have folks in here, thank you. Please go ahead and chime on in with our poll right here, which is asking, what about Nearpod most interests you? And you can choose as many as you would like. All right, and I am seeing a few folks chiming in here. So I'm seeing student engagement is really exciting. Full ready to use lessons is definitely appealing to quite a few folks. Some interactive lessons or interactive videos, that's also great. Here is the link if you are just joining us. The link is in the chat for you to jump on into our lesson as well. And then we've got a person who's interested in our real-time data and post-session data as well. Awesome. Let's go ahead and move forward a little bit more. Let me quickly talk to you about what Nearpod is. So Nearpod is an instructional platform. It is built for teachers, for you, to be able to actively engage your students while also providing time for you to be able to analyze that data. You can get it in real time. You can use that to modify and change your instruction. The other thing that I really love about Nearpod is it's a great way for you to combine all of the lesson resources that you find. So if you have a website that you want to bring into the Nearpod platform, you can easily do so. If you have a Google form that you like to use to quiz your students, you can bring that into the platform as well. So Nearpod is a way to not only have instructional, activities and instructional time with your students, but you can also use it to kind of combine everything together. So then it's not, just another platform to learn. It is the platform to learn. And that's why I love Nearpod so much. So when talking about Nearpod and when talking about some of the different features that we have available, I also like to highlight the fact that we have a variety of different accommodations available too, including immersive reader. And so I'm going to quickly share what that looks like. And it is going to usually be found either on the top right or the top left corner of your screen. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this right here. It's going to be a book with a speaker on it. I'm going to click it and I'm going to let it show itself what it can
Think
do.
about it. What can happen to learning when every student has the opportunity to participate with every question?
So Microsoft Immersive Reader is a text-to-speech function. So students are able to have a variety of different accommodations. Students can choose different voice settings. They can choose text size. They can increase or decrease the size of the text, the spacing in between the text, different background colors, great for students with dyslexia. It's a way to kind of, just break up the white background with the black text. We have different options, including breaking down words into syllables. And then on top of that, we have line focus, a picture dictionary where students can click on words and get an image associated with that word. And then we also have a translation function as well. So if for some reason you have a student from the Czech Republic, the text can be translated and read out to your students in that way to ensure that your students are able to have a variety of different accommodations there. So with all of that being said, what I'd love for you to do is go ahead, take a moment, play around with Immersive Reader. So click on it, check it out, and then also go ahead and respond to the question of what can happen to learning when every student has the opportunity to participate with every question. So take probably about a minute and a half or so on that. And if you have not joined in on the live lesson, please feel free to do so. There is the link that I'm sharing out in the chat. All right, and let's see what y'all said. So, an interactive, motivating, engaging lesson happens. Love it. Great job there. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. So these are some of the different features that we do have available when it comes to Nearpod. We have a variety of different pre-made features. And so I like just kind of highlighting these. Remember, this is a little bit more of a consolidated session. So I like to highlight some of the different pre-made activities that we do have available. This is a matching pairs right here. So this is a great way to easily kind of quiz students. You can use this as a bell ringer. You can use this in a variety of different ways, but so you can easily kind of click on different options. So here we have a flower, and I'm just going to click on a random one. Oh no, I got it wrong. Okay, so I can keep kind of clicking until hopefully I get it right. And so you are able to also kind of see as the teacher, you're able to toggle between student and teacher view. You can observe, you can be watching this, you can be seeing how your students are doing. So if you see that they are struggling and they keep like kind of clicking on stuff and they are just not really doing well. And so what you can do is you can identify these students. You can go ahead and kind of poll students for small groups using something like this. You can see it took me 12 tries. Now, if I was, not trying, or if I was just kind of clicking through 12 tries, that would be really concerning for me as an educator. And I would be pulling students for small groups there. So that's one option that I do like to kind of talk about right there, is just the matching pairs that we do have available. That is one of our pre-made activities. On top of that, we have a variety of different 3D models as well. So here we have a 3D model of I'm pretty sure this is the vascular Either that or it's the nerves, but I feel like it's maybe vascular. But this is a 3D model right here, so you're able to kind of, and obviously it's probably vascular because there's a heart right there. But you're able to kind of check this out. You can use this as examples. Your students can easily kind of, identify different parts based on this model as well. This is another one of our pre 3D available just kind of activities. And then we also have things like VR field trips as well. This is outside the Sydney Opera House. So you're able to kind of drag this around. Your students can have field trips to places that they may never be able to go. And so this is just another incredible opportunity. They're able to kind of, scroll around, make observations. They can zoom in, they can zoom out. And I just think that this is absolutely incredible as a way to really allow students to be able to explore, make observations, and things like that. So, some other options that we do have, fill in the blanks. Now, fill in the blank is going to be a little bit different because these are going to be things that you have to create. You find the text, but you can easily go in, you can create these. These are wonderful for getting students ready for test prep, things along those lines, because so often you are going to experience, or your students are going to experience something like this within testing environments. So, I think that this is just a really cool way to kind of, be able to kind of highlight some of the different ways that students are able to experience the Nearpod platform. So, I'm a huge fan. And let's see if I get this right. I feel like I'm going to crush it. Oh, crushed it. But this is yet another activity that we do have available that you can easily kind of create. Don't worry, and I'm going to show you all of this in a second. But then on top of that, we have things like our drag and drop as well. Now, drag and drop is going to be a really incredible option for your students to be able to get a lot of visualization. So I have no idea where things go. I'm just kind of dragging this around, but this is a really, really um, interesting way of just kind of, showing things off. This is talking about the New Deal, which is talking about, the Great Depression and Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the whole 9 yards. But what's really nice is as the teacher, you can be modeling this information, but at the same time, you can be observing your students as well and monitoring how they are doing what they have been doing. So these are just a variety of different activities that we do have available for students. So with all of that being said, I would love to go ahead and I'm going to pause here. If you want to start working on this, you are more than welcome to. You can see that we have a variety of different activities, and I'm curious what sorts of activities you would like to use with your students. But I also do just kind of want to show some of the different options, and I will show those in a second. But let's go ahead and chime in for me if you can, or if you want to. You can even toss it in the chat or in the Q&A. But which tools would you like to use with your own classes? Maybe use the crayon function and be like, for me, I really loved using the collaborate boards, especially when I was teaching. I loved using the collaborate boards, loved using a good open-ended question. And I really enjoyed using videos as well with my students. I think that videos were such a great way to just kind of be able to, kind of share information in a different way. So it's awesome. Um, so go ahead and chime in for me if you can, or if you'd like to, about any of the activities that you might like to use. Oh, okay. So we've got a person who is really digging all of the different options that we have. The polls, the videos, the open-ended questions, collaborate boards, and matching pairs. Great, great options there. Love it. Great job. So, with all of that being said, thank you so much, by the way, for chiming in there. Awesome. What we're going to do is let's go ahead into the actual Nearpod platform now. So a variety of different ways for you to really increase that engagement with your students. Bring in videos, bring in a variety of different formative assessments that you can then share out with them. So I'm asking you to go ahead, if you can, to log into the Nearpod platform. So you might have to open up another tab in your favorite browser, but go ahead and log into Nearpod for me if you want to. If you don't feel like logging in right now, that is completely fine as well. So there's no pressure. But I'm going to pause here for about 30 seconds and then I will go ahead and I'll do a little bit of a demo showing you where I found everything. And then we'll go from there. All right. And so, like I said, I'm going to do a quick demo. So if you want to, you can stick with me on the Zoom screen. That's perfectly fine. Or if you want to and just kind of listen and follow along, that is also perfectly fine as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through navigating the homepage and then also being able to search and add resources. So on my Nearpod platform, and mine might look slightly different than yours, and if that's the case, it's okay. But we have a variety of different ways that we can kind of check this out. Number one, welcome to your homepage. Up on the top here, we have over on the left-hand side, the three lines that will be your kind of little teacher dashboard. This is where you can access reports. This is where you can access your library, and then where you can go for help and support as well. Three lines, top left corner. Anytime you want to go back to the Nearpod homepage, you can just click on our logo and it'll bring you right back. At the top center is our global search bar right here. So if you wanted to focus in on something specific, say you wanted to focus in on, I don't know, cold fronts. I don't even know if that's a thing. But we could easily search, weather fronts. That works. So we can easily kind of search for something specific, and the Nearpod library will provide to us the different suggestions for those. We also have a drop down that can kind of help us filter those searches slightly better. For moving kind of to the right, we have the quick launch option where you can quickly launch a video, a collaborate board, an open-ended question, or a timer. We have the question mark right here, which is where we can go in for FAQs, teacher resources, the Nearpod blog. You can reach out to us from there, and a few other options. And then finally, you have your icon on the top right corner. This is where you can go into lesson settings and check out a variety of different options there. Once we are done kind of navigating that top part, in the center, we can see the create option where you can launch the lesson builder. Any lessons that you find and curate will be located right in this center section. And then at the bottom is where our discover option is, where we can also browse the library. So you can easily browse the library, or you can launch the lesson builder and create a lesson from scratch. When you create a lesson from scratch, this is where you can access blank slides. This is where you can access pre-made activities, or you can upload your own resources. I just want to show you some of the pre-made activities that we do have available and our pre-made activity searcher. So you can easily search by keyword if you would like to. Like if I wanted to search for Egypt, I could do so and I should be able to find a variety of different resources available. You can filter those by a variety of different subjects. Obviously, it's going to be social studies. You can go by grade level, and you can also choose activity types as well. So if I wanted a Egypt activity and I wanted it specifically to be a draw it slide, I could do so. And then here they are. You can preview that activity, check it out a little bit further. And if it's like, this is exactly what I wanted, absolutely, I'm going to go ahead and add that pre-made activity. You can do that for a variety of different activities, a variety of different resources. All you have to do is go to add new. You can also choose from blank slide and activities. This is where you can find your VR field trips. This is where you can find your Nearpod 3D models. This is where you can find your videos, where you can add your own web content. You can scroll through and find something that works for you. But there is so much in there. I love a good VR field trip, so I'm going to go ahead and add one, and I'm going to search for Egypt. And then what we can do is we can find something that works for us. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check out the Luxor. I can't speak today. Luxor Temple. There we go. So I'm searching, I find something, and I'm just like, oh, this is perfect. This is absolutely what I wanted. And then there we go. We can always title our lesson, and then you can kind of continually search from there. But there's so many different ways that you can find resources. Launching the lesson builder also allows you to explore the Nearpod library too. So just really lean into those different resources that you have available to you on the Nearpod platform. So, with all of that being said, I'm just kind of checking in. What are you thinking that you're going to search for? Are you going to search for full lessons in the Nearpod library? Are you going to search for specific activities, maybe interactive videos, or maybe you just want to make your own lessons? You're more than welcome to do whichever one you'd like to, but I'm curious what you are wanting to do. Oh, okay. So we've got somebody saying pretty much all of the above, Gina. Come on now. Don't limit me. And that is perfect. Yeah. There are so many different ways that you can kind of use the Nearpod platform. It is truly just completely flexible. And that's what I love about it so much is that you can make every lesson your own. You can either create your own lessons or you can find lessons and then edit them to make them your own. So plenty of different options. Now, I do just want to quickly run through how you can launch lessons and then how you can access reports as well. So we will go through those. So once we go ahead and find or create a lesson, and I'll just use this Egypt lesson as an example here, but I'm going to go ahead and hover over the lesson and you can choose the option to teach. So once you hover over the lesson, once you've edited and kind of customized to your liking, hover over the lesson, click teach, and you'll see that there are two different options, either live participation or student paced. If you choose live participation, it's going to generate a join code that you can use and share out, or you can copy this link, you can email it out, you can add it to Google Classroom, Remind, Microsoft Teams, a variety of different options. That lesson code is going to be available for 14 days. If you want to rejoin the lesson, you can easily do so by just clicking through this little backwards arrow right here, just back out, and then that lesson will be available for you to rejoin. If you want to completely break the join code for a live lesson, you can go to menu and then end session, and that completely breaks the join code right there. You can go through the same process for if you hover over the lesson, click teach, and you can also choose student paced. Live participation is like what we're in, where I can kind of click through and the slide changes as I click it, and then your slide changes as well. There's also the option for student paced mode where it is going to be allowing students to work at their own pace. So if you choose student paced mode, they're going to be able to kind of work through at their own speed. It's going to generate a different join code. That lesson will remain active for 29 days. You can see a variety of different ways to be able to share out that lesson. And just as a little suggestion, if you want to essentially require your students to respond and prevent them from skipping through, especially if you might be out for the day, something like that, go ahead and choose the require student responses and prevent skipping right here. That will require them to go through each individual activity and complete it. From there, from generating a lesson, we can go into and find the reports. So once students join the lesson, you are instantly going to start receiving data from your students. You can click on the three lines on the top left corner of your Nearpod screen and go to where it says reports. From there, you'll be able to access post-session reports, and this is where all of your data is going to be housed. Here is my very first, intro lesson right here, so we can always take a look at that if we would like to. I'm going to scroll a little bit more. Let me go ahead and just pull one, and let me find something that might be a little bit more fun. Yeah, we'll pull this one. It's got 11 students in it, so we can see some of the data. So anytime we want to pull post-session reports, we would go to summary activity reports or student reports to just kind of get insight on that data. But we can see on the summary section, all of our different students, there they all are. We can see participation levels. We can see percentage scores. We can also see accuracy scores for time to climb. We can see activity reports and get insight onto each individual activity that students completed. And we also have access to student reports as well, so we can get insight on each specific student and how they performed. We can also, and finally, go ahead and download that information over on the right-hand side. And you can either download the entire lesson report or you can download it individual students' reports there. So that is a very, very quick overview of what the reports look like. Just so you are familiar, once again, launching lessons, hover over the lesson, click Teach. Reports, 3 lines on the top left corner, and reports are right there. And so with all of that being said, we are pretty much wrapping up right here. If you would like to participate in the Time to Climb is a great little opportunity to do a speed-based game. You can earn points as you answer questions based on how quickly, but also how accurately students answer them. There's a variety of different customizations as well, but this is a great way I loved using Time to Climbs for test prep, things like that, made things a little bit more fun. So if you would like to go ahead and play, I will pause here for a moment. If you want to check out the different characters and join in the game, you are welcome to. If you're not feeling it, that is completely fine as well. Excellent. And we've got one person in here already. That is wonderful. We'll see if anybody else wants to join. And if not, that is okay. And then we can kind of go from there. So I'll give us another 5 seconds. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to play. So you should be able to see the question pop up in a second, which is Nearpod is what? A way to present information interactively, a way to combine resources for lessons, a way to personalize learning, or all of the above. And it is actually going to be all of the above. So it is going to be all of the above here. So presenting information interactively, you can pull in resources from other places and combine it into a lesson, personalize that learning. So it is going to be all of the above. All right, let's go ahead to our next question. The music is always good. Nearpod provides real-time and post-session data for actionable insights into student learning. True or false? Correct. Yeah, absolutely. The answer is true here. So real-time data, so you can use that to modify and drive instruction. Perfect job. All right, let's go ahead to question number 3. Nearpod gives a voice to what percentage of students in a lesson? What is our overall goal? Absolutely 100%. I wasn't even concerned about that one. Excellent. All right, and let's go ahead to our last question. Well done so far. That first question is always kind of tricky, if I'm honest. So I love when folks are like, psh, I got this. All right, Nearpod can be used with any age learners from the littles to the adults. True or false? Absolutely. And the correct answer is true. Well done. And then in a moment, you should see the celebration happen. Whoop, whoop. Well done. And thank you so much, Patricia, for participating, for spending some time with me today. Y'all, thank you so much. I know that this was a very, very quick session, but this is one of those that we're trying to make sure that we can fit into your planning time, something like that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, so much for spending some time with me today. Next steps, just continue your learning, continue kind of searching and finding different resources that you might be able to use in your classrooms within the Nearpod platform. Launch activities, check them out. Review that student data, continue your independent learning, and if you'd like, request some additional professional learning. We have our teacher resources page, bookmark it, keep it available for yourselves. And then finally, thank you so much for just kind of spending some time with me today. Once again, I truly, truly appreciate it. And that is everything that I had for you today. If you have any questions, please feel free to toss those either in the Q&A or in the chat. Otherwise, I do wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great school year, and we'll see you later.